What up, everybody? It's your boy Heems, and guys, we are back with another video. Today, guys, we're actually going to do a review, and it's been a while since we actually did one. We actually just did one for Spider-Man. We've had a chance to do one for The Matrix. As you guys may have known, I was trying to see if I could go ahead and see the Resident Evil. And, woo, we got to talk about that one. Somebody said that to me earlier. They were like, go in with low expectations and then you won't be disappointed. I still actually went in thinking that this was actually going to be really lit. And man, it's just, all right, let's go ahead and get started with this though. But literally already the beginning kind of throws you off because they basically try to do this thing now with like the adoption, and apparently Chris and Claire are actually adopted children, and apparently, Birkin is basically holding like a whole McDonald's to have all the kids and stuff together, and everybody's sharing and caring and all that. While in the midst of all this, Lisa Trevor, oh my god, when I saw the trailers of Lisa Trevor, it amped me up because it was like, I like her character. I was the kind of person that actually got I like the gross details in the background on certain characters. So I can't tell you how many times I sat there and I looked up on Wikipedia and I was looking up different stuff on her, and just having her as an addition to the remaster, or if you just want to even say like the HD remake, whatever, it was actually pretty cool to have her in there. It basically filled more of a gap in the game as a whole. But it was basically, they were trying to pull almost to me like in the movie, like as if like a paranormal, because like during the beginning and stuff, you see like Chris and Claire's kids, Birkin is sitting there dealing with them. He has one set of kids going here, other set of kids going here, basically be experimented on. And somewhere along the line, Lisa Trevor is communicating to Claire the entire time, and shows her this area, and then suddenly it fades out. Then it actually takes part where it actually cuts to the scene of both Jill, Wesker, and Leon. They're at a bar, and you see Wesker, he's basically all broski and chilled out and stuff, just not caring the world. They talking. You see Leon. You see Leon there. You see Leon sitting there laid at the bar, and he's all basically drugged, passed out, and you got everybody basically they ride him every time in the movie. It never fell. They crapped on Leon so bad. I think it's because of the fact that, I don't know, maybe because he's a AAA, they had to do this reversed, or maybe there's an alternate universe. This is the negative world or something where Leon. But there is actually, in hindsight, and don't quote me verbatim, but there was actually supposed to be two alternatives and actually a background story on Leon. So to everybody, if you guys remember when I was playing Resident Evil 2, and of course if you guys remember playing Resident Evil 2 for yourselves, you remember it's basically just Leon basically going into town. He's basically going to start his job. Now there was two versions that I've heard before, and that was pretty much the straight and narrow of, he was getting up, he had his kale smoothie, he was sitting there using the perfect push-ups, and he was on his way to work. He was ready to fight crime. But then there was another one version where he actually basically he was drunk and he was about to lose his job, and it actually kind of a little smidgen of that story. You kind of notice that kicks in if you remember the CGI version of Resident Evil Vendetta. You see where Leon's basically he just toppling back and forth. But in that movie in particular, he had lost a lot of his teammates. No more different than what Chris did in Resident Evil 6. So yeah, taking it back to the movie, they after they showed a little flashback, they showing the town, they showing everybody how everybody's acting, but they basically at the bar, Leon's there, people are just roasting him, dogging him, giving him a hard time. Then after that, they leave the bar. Then it's pretty much you see Claire, she's basically hitchhiking. The truck driver, they do the infamous scene where it's the big old juicy burger, picks up Issa, got the dog in the car, and they throw in this whole creepy truck driver pickup thing, because at one point as they're talking, he's rubbing and stroking her leg with some creepy vibe type stuff. And then as he's doing that and talking to her, bam, smacks it to the first zombie. Get out the car, they look at the body, the dog walks out of the car and actually starts to lick And like literally, like that dog hasn't eaten anything in a while. Maybe, I don't know, maybe he didn't feed him. Maybe he was about to get a piece of that burger, but he was hungry, licking up the blood, take him back to the car. And then at one point, like the zombie, it's kind of, because like honestly, when I watched the movie, I watched bits and pieces of it, at least like about a week or so ago. Then after that, I tried to watch the rest like just now. And at some point, she basically makes her way through the forest, gets her way back to her brother, and like the dynamic between her, basically Chris and Claire, is like distanced, because like he's like, you know, what the heck are you doing here? I'm about to go to work, and like, how'd you even unlock my door? And she's freaking out because basically the zombie situation just happened. Then after that, oh, right after they do all that, get back, the freaking dog bites the truck driver because he basically ate the blood that was contaminated, and that was a zombie. And I wish they would have put that in, like, that guy's a maniac. Why'd he bite me? My dog. If they would have just sold the dog, that would have been funny. So she makes her way after that whole escapade and freaks out because the zombie basically gets back up, goes to see her brother. Brother gives her a hard time. And then was like, you need money? Like, you know, why are you here? You know, as if you should have done this, you should have done that. Birkin was taking good care of us. So he was really drinking that G-Virus Kool-Aid at that time. And so they get a call that, you know, some serious stuff. They all got to meet up. So he's like, here, go ahead, stay in the house. Don't touch anything. Don't steal anything. She goes and gets his bike. So then this basically takes to both. So what they basically try to do with this movie as we continue on with this, like basically try to combine both Resident Evil 1 and 2 at the exact same time. They're taking the events of what happened in the mansion along with what was happening within the town, and they're basically trying to like merge that together into one. So full disclosure early into this. Go to the town, go to the police office, you know, to the office. They get the mission from Irons. And at one point in time, like, Leon comes and he's like, what the hell are you doing in here? Get the hell out. Like, why are you even... They treat this dude like the gimp, man. Like, this dude don't get no play, no nothing. Like, they just dog the crap out of him. As far as the acting for him, like, is he, like, on point with the hair? Because they even joke about, hey, he looked like a hippie and this and that. He does have that look of Chris just a little bit, but it was like, they should have just gone ahead and just, I don't know, like, permed it, whatever, cut. And, you know, just, I don't know, like, gave him that same role. They just basically made him like he wasn't shit. Like, he didn't do anything. He's not even allowed to breathe at this point. They actually even panned to one point of him sitting down at the front of the main hall of the police office where he basically is like at the check-in, and he's sitting there like, you know, laid back with his headphones on, and zombies and stuff, because the truck afterwards crashes. It crashes and causes some zombies to catch on fire. It's actually zombies walking into the thing, you know, burning and stuff. And he just sitting there, you know, on his headphones, like, you know, just not even looking at the stuff. And like literally Irons him, they kind of team up for a minute, only for him to get to the garage and for pretty much Chief Irons to basically say deuces, takes off in the car, leaves Leon. He's like, what do I do? Like, and so after that, he goes to the gate, but basically Umbrella's like basically blocked off like all exits. So he barely made it. Chief Irons barely made it, but he actually managed to turn his car around after getting like shot at, and several other people that was coming along, please let me out. Gets back to the place, joins up with Leon and them. At one point in time, they do the scene where they actually cut to the part where I'm gonna forget that dude's name. But basically, the reporter, they actually go see the report, Ben. And Claire was in contact with Ben prior before, because she started bringing this stuff to Chris, like when they was at the house originally. And while he was giving crap, he was like, look, this is what's going on, that's what's going on. They're saying like there's like sewage, this contamination. Like Chris is like, you just hating, I'm about to go to the police station. So fast forward, Leon runs into Ben. At one point, which is the most amateur of things, Ben actually gets Leon's gun. He gets close enough to let Ben take his gun. I'm like, dude, they did not make this, like, dude, they, like, you look up, man, like, rookie, all that, like, that was just his picture just right there, like, just looking. Takes his gun, And at one point, forcing him, like, basically, go get the key so you can let me out of this prison. And, like, he's holding him. And dude ends up getting ate by a zombie. Ben gets ate up. Claire comes down there. She helps. And then suddenly Leon starts, like, and my God, Waste does something more stupid. Shoots the zombie in the prison cell. Just just overkill. Waste all his bullets. Claire looking at him like, you good? Yeah. Go up. And then while this is taking place, Chris, Wesker, and Jill, and don't even get me started, like, even with Jill. Like, I mean, I like the character and the actor who they had, but it was like, the only person to me who was canon, or at least looked dead on the character that they were supposed to portray, was the actor for Chris. This dude has actually been in, I love Babysitter 1 and then Babysitter Killer Queen. Super funny in that. And of course, the person that played is Claire. Like, I don't know if maybe that was the butt-in joke, or it was the running gag, but it was like, those were like the only two characters that actually looked like who they were supposed to be. Wesker, yeah, he's more of that broski, like, just real chill back, laid back, don't care, real cool for everybody. Go to the mansion. They get, hit with all these different zombies. They barely making it. They even do this one effect where, like, the dude's lighter, Chris's lighter, is like flickers off, flickers on, flickers off, and the zombie just each time gets closer, and surprise, he's not in front of his face. He's actually on the side of him, while another zombie is actually ahead of him. And at one point in time, the twist to it was the chopper crash, and that was originally saved for the police department. They actually used that right at the mansion. The mansion crashes into there. Then after that, Jill and Wesker are there with each other for the moment. She sees, like, basically he's getting this call. The cave opens. It's like, what are you doing, Wesker? What's going on? And he's like, oh man, the whole city, because basically Raccoon City is like, basically it's like this run down. Basically, it's nothing staying there anymore. Everything's starting to close down. It's not, it's not popular anymore. It's not, the business is not thriving. It's basically one of these backwater like type cities at this point. And Chris or Wesker is saying to her, as if, I just got in contact with Umbrella just a few months ago, and as if like they, just said about an opportunity in this. It's like he never knew about nothing. They just made this one like, basically, like, he just got like a damn spam text and stuff, and it's like, would you like to make more money? Would you like to sit here and join the HHS program? By all means, go ahead and click yes and reply. And basically, that's what Wesker just ended up doing. Like, he was sitting there trying to invest in GameStop, and then just literally watched it crumble. Because then after that, you see the part where Wesker like dives off. He goes down to the laboratory, and who's in the laboratory? Birkin, the wife, and daughter. He's packing everything up. Wesker comes in. He's like, hey, give me the vial. He's pretty much regurgitates the same line of, hey, I'm not giving up my life's work. Whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. And they have the shootout. Wesker gets shot like in the shoulder. He takes 3 to the whole center mass. At one point, you hear Birkin say to his wife, like, vial. And he's like, hey, don't do it. Give me the thing. She tries to shoot him. He headshots the wife, so she's gone. And then after that, the kid hides. He's like, damn, where's the kid? When it comes to Wesker, finds the kid. Kid has a gun. And at one point in time, like, you see where he's like, he looks like he's about to shoot. Jill shoots Wesker, shoots him in the back. He's sitting down and he's like, I never was going to shoot you. And then Chris pops up on them. Because at one point in time, just a little rewind back, Jill actually runs into and actually rescues Chris when he was doing that flicker mode and was getting ganged up on some zombies. Gives him the rundown of everything, like, Wesker's betrayed us. And he, whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop, he's working for Umbrella. So fast forward, they eventually come down to see him. Jill stops Wesker from shooting the kid. He tells him, like, yeah, I wasn't going to shoot nobody anyway. I wasn't going to shoot the kid. And then was looking at Chris and I'm like, I'm sorry, y'all. Like, you got to take the train. You got to get out of here. Like, are you kidding me? Like, now they turned him into a good guy. So they got like he's basically one of those like he just basically like he was just I don't know like he was sitting there just now trying to get on like Bitcoin or something like that. He just happened to get into the deal. He didn't even get that deep into it. Got screwed over on his stuff. So after that, and while this is going on, back at the police station, Chief Irons joins up with them. They run into Lisa Trevor. They also run into the first and only liquor ever to be seen out of the entire film. Kills Chief Irons. They kill. Actually, Lisa Trevor kills the liquor, gives her all the keys into the entire facility, spade, club, everything. Opens the door to go down to this elevator that basically takes them down where they basically are all going to meet together, both Jill, Chris, Leon, and Claire. And prior before that, they try to do a little smidget. They actually, on Claire and Leon's side, while they take the elevator and go down, and this is like in between Jill and Chris eventually run into Wesker, they run to the projector room, reveal everything, and they basically talk about, they actually showed the scene, which they actually did a good job with that with the CGI. I will give them that. They basically recreated that whole projector scene with Alexia and her brother, like, you know, pulling off the wings off the dragonfly and like looking at each other, then the creepy look at the camera. So I'm guessing from what they were trying to do with that, they were basically trying to give us a smidgen of what Code Veronica could potentially be. And so she sat there and basically rips up everything, rips up the binder with all the evidence, and it's like, okay, go ahead and throw away the very evidence that could basically frame or put Umbrella, you know, like out on blast. Do that, and then afterwards they all meet together. Birkin actually, come to find out, Birkin, of course, he actually already took the vial, so he gets the bubbly eyes and stuff like all bubbling on his shoulder and stuff. He starts to transform, but what got me then after that was he is fully conscious and in control of the transformation. No more than Resident Evil Extinction. He is talking, he is doing it all. He's like, come on out, Chris. You know, come out to play, and as if I never looked at you as a son, you were just a pawn, and boop, 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 boop. Claire comes, rescues the day, shoots him, he's down. But needless to say, but wait, there's more. He reactivates, reanimates, and begins his transformation. Now he got another bicep that's about to open up with eyes. They get on the train. They sit there and get ready to go. At one point in time, the train actually gives out from the explosion that happened, the collapse of the mansion. Then after that collapse, the train stops. I will say, as far as visual looks, I like what they did with Birkin's between second and third form. It looked really good. You actually could see the face of Birkin there still talking. And you see now Chris is like basically in like rebel, you know, daddy issues, like bow, bow, just starts shooting him. Takes care of him, and then of course Leon, they finally redeem his character. Well, sort of, suda. Comes out the RPG, blows him to bits on the train in his second or third form. There was never no fourth. You don't get to see him, you know, pretty much like turn to that big old giant like blob thing. And then they actually look at him like, did you really just use an RPG to sit here and like take him out? So it's like Chris doesn't ever, I mean Leon don't ever get a break. And then after that, they're like, what happened to the train? Jill comes out and is like, what happened to the train? And so they walk out. It shows them walk out. And if you stay behind for the credits, they actually did the scene, if you remember, in the GameCube or what was considered the remaster version. They sat there and had the scene where the body bag gets up. The body bag is like shaking, moving, and it's actually Wesker. Wesker comes out of the body bag. He's like gasping for air and like literally, you know, trying to like he crawls out sitting there like wheezing and stuff, sits in the corner. You see this woman come in with the lab coat or the trench coat with the hills, and you can already put together that's Ada. So she comes in, he's like, I thought I was dead. What's going on? Like, why can't I see? Like, oh, that's just the effects. Here, put these shades on. So now he has the iconic Wesker shades, you know, for his for his introduction. And then he looks at her with the glass and like, who are you? I'm Ada Wong. And then it cuts off. And then the rest of the credits roll. So in all honesty, this is one of those, I'll say it like this. If you had no idea, or if you have absolutely zero clue of what Resident Evil is, then by all means, go ahead and watch it. It'll still be a good zombie-based type film. The visuals are nice. For the most part, it's basically, you know, just, for me, the visuals are good. The visuals have been good. But it's just outside of the visuals. It's really nothing else to it. It's nothing that you can really enjoy, at least for me. And I'm saying that on the side of being the person that has played, because I've literally played Resident Evil since I was like between 10 and 11. And even though I didn't beat the games back then, to be fair, up until I got into my teenage years, around like 16. Anyway, it just, for me, I've seen better CGI films. I'm almost even willing to say, as messed up as it may be, I'd rather watch the older Resident Evil movie films than watch that. GTA motherfucker! Because it was one of those, they basically just did something just completely night and day. They were just trying to do something different, you know. It got weird. It got cringy after like Resident Evil Extinction. My sister actually was the smart one who actually stayed away from it. But outside of that, like, that was the only thing that I still ended up liking the rest of them up until Final Chapter. When I watched Final Chapter, it was one of those moments where it's like, and that's when you realize you wasted 15 years of your life following this whole franchise. But that being said, that's how bad for me. It's like, I'd rather watch those movies because they were classics for me than watch the current one. Because even the Leon that they had in there was a better deal. They didn't even put Barry in this, and I don't know what happened, why they chose not to put Barry in this, but I would have loved for them to have put a little bit more thought into it. I think it was one of those, it's a good concept, it was a great idea, again, the visuals was nice, but all in all, execution was not really what I was looking for. Shoot, the person that played Jill then was a better Jill actor than what they had there. Now, she's played in like Tomb Raider and other stuff, and not to crap by no means, it just doesn't fit. Even Leon's character, like, he doesn't really look like him. So yeah, if you've never seen any of the Resident Evils though, I'll say go ahead and go on with it with a clean mind. If you can somehow separate and do what I did with The Walking Dead, separating that from the comics to the actual show, and you can look at it that way as an alternate universe, then by all means go ahead and try. But I don't know, it was like, for me, it was really like, I was literally like clenching my seat throughout the whole thing, and I actually paid $20 to watch that on Prime, and I'm not happy about that. So guys, my rating for this whole, for the movie for Resident Evil, I'm gonna at least try to give it at least a 3.5 out of 10, only because, again, the execution of it was poor. The plot, they tried to merge too much stuff into one. Then they basically tried to merge all the characters. It kind of reminds me basically like what Resident Evil 6 was, where they tried to basically mash all the all-stars, the A-listers, everybody like into one thing, and then they try to justify the plot. They try to do this whole Silent Hill paranormal thing with even like Lisa Trevor, where they could have actually done that just a little bit better. They could have handled that much. They could have basically just had her as one of the bosses, or they could have just separated the damn movie and actually did like Resident Evil 1 as intended for as a movie, and then Resident Evil 2, and that would have gave them more room to really put time and emphasis into both of those movies. Because I think, yeah, maybe that's probably where the bore or the scare may come for a lot of people is, but if it's done like in the mansion, as if, oh, you know, they can't, it's just one big building, but that's the thing. It's the big building, it's the zombies. It's even the fact that they can make Crimson Heads. They have Yawn. They have a Neptune. They had Lisa Trevor. There was so many ways that they could have really like milked the hell out of it. If it couldn't have been a full 1 hour and 30 minutes, if it could have been a solid hour, hell, I'd take 45 minutes. My biggest thing is just always, you know, if you're going to tell the story, then tell it down to the T, down to the letter. But needless to say, I know that no movie is perfect, and everybody has their own like adaptation or their vision as far as what the movie will be. And it also depends on like budget and everything else that comes into play as to why things may or may not actually pan out the way a lot of hardcore fans or a lot of raging fans would like to see. 2 definitely has way more potential, because then at the very least they could have milked that with 2. And honestly, the overlap in stories would have been more appropriate for between 2 and 3, because literally that story was taking place literally like it was Jill first, then Leon and them. After that, it rotated back to Jill. So basically, they were all going through this at the same time. The incident that happened in Resident Evil 1, that was a few months before the story of Resident Evil 2 and 3. So I think, in all honesty, they should have, like, if they were going to do a merge, that should have been a proper merge. So henceforth, like I said, I'll give it a 3.5 out of 10 just to say, hey, you know, like, close but no cigar for me. It is not worth the ticket unless you want to go on Tuesdays when it's a discount. And please do not pay $20 on Amazon Prime for that. You will feel sick for yourself, as I have, and playing all the Resident Evils in the world. Yeah, so guys, what did you think of this review? Did you like it? Did you hate it? I hope I ain't piss off no Resident Evil fans. I hope I have some people that can agree with me on the movie. Honestly, let me know what you guys thought of it. One, in full disclosure, this is just simply my opinion. This is just simply my critique. It is not the end-all, be-all. So to anybody that does have an opinion opposite of it, just please keep it cool, keep it friendly in the comments. And let me know, guys, what other movies you want me to go ahead and review on, whatever TV shows. Please let me know in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like button. It really does help. Don't forget to subscribe to your boy at Heemscast Gaming. Don't forget to follow me on IG as well as on Twitter and Discord for updates and more. To everybody, guys, your boy been busy pretty much throughout the week. I've been sitting there doing all these doubles and just trying to work and maintain. So your boy been actually just trying to kick back for real and actually enjoy myself. I've been playing the Xbox Series X, and I'm definitely looking forward to doing more content stuff will be coming to you guys starting next week. Depending on what happens, if we have call-offs and stuff like that, guys, I'll definitely let you guys know in the comments section or on the Instagram story or Facebook story. But if we don't, guys, you already know what it is. Monday through Friday, guys, at 6 p.m. Eastern. Late starts are between 6:15 and 6:30 to anybody that wants to catch some live streams. We're currently working on The Last of Us. We just finished part 5 of The Last of Us. We actually just got up to the part where both Sam and Big Brother, they basically they both died. So we're definitely going to be continuing the story soon, guys. So definitely make sure y'all tune in for that. Don't forget to follow your boy on Twitch as well as on Facebook and Trovo Live for more content. But to everybody, guys, this is your boy Heemscast Gaming signing off with another one. I'll see you guys soon with more content. To everybody out there, peace. Till the next video.